A kamikaze drone costs $2,000. The missile that shoots it down costs $150,000. This math breaks any defense. But the Pentagon has finally found an answer, a weapon where a single shot costs less than $1. The LOCUST Laser Weapon System is a compact combat laser that burns out swarms of cheap drones. Its ammunition is infinite, as long as there's electricity and radar data. If the system performs as its developers promise, mass drone attacks, the primary tactic of modern warfare, will become pointless. It took 66 years to get this shot. When Theodore Maiman fired up the first ruby laser in 1960, he dreamed of scalpel-free medicine. The Pentagon saw the technology differently, as a beam of energy capable of incinerating enemy hardware in seconds. 66 years later, this dream has finally made it onto real armor. But laser weapons have a fundamental weakness that's kept quiet in press releases. It's this very weakness that will determine whether LOCUST becomes a revolution or remains an expensive toy that lost to the laws of physics. To understand this flaw, one needs to see how LOCUST is built from the inside. The answer begins with the fact that's unpleasant for any modern army. Warfare has suddenly become incredibly cheap at the lower tier. To threaten a base, a convoy, a ship, or a warehouse, you no longer need an aircraft, a cruise missile, or a sabotage group. A small drone, dirt-cheap commercial electronics, cameras, navigation explosives, and an operator located far from the line of fire are more than enough. A single such device is easy to shoot down, and even 10 or 20 are manageable. But when there are hundreds of them, some acting as scouts, others distracting air defenses, a third group carrying the payload, and the rest simply forcing the defender to reveal their positions and spend millions of dollars on ammunition, the traditional logic of defense begins to come apart at the seams. For decades, the U.S. built its military might around expensive, complex, and high-precision systems. This was the logic of superiority: see further, strike more accurately, make decisions instantly while maintaining dominance in the air and at sea. But the drone revolution brought the logic of saturation, where the enemy doesn't necessarily have to build a better aircraft or the most advanced missile. They only need to force American defenses to fend off cheap threats with expensive assets daily, threatening an inevitable economic defeat. This is exactly why laser weapons suddenly stopped being perceived by the command and the Pentagon solely as an engineer's whim. It's no longer discussed in the context of Star Wars jokes, space projects, sci-fi novels, and expensive demonstrators promising us a revolution. Today, the military's interested in the laser for the most pragmatic, even boring reason: it radically changes the cost of defense. With it, the enemy spends tens of thousands of dollars on a drone, while you respond with a beam of energy costing just a few dollars or even cents. In this sense, the drone war is quickly turned into a war of spreadsheets, where the winner is not the one whose guns shoot louder, but the one who eliminates the threat at the lowest cost. LOCUST emerged at the intersection of two trends: the explosive growth of the drone threat and the fatigue of classical air defense against mass, cheap targets. It's a counter-unmanned aerial system that utilizes artificial intelligence to intercept UAVs. However, the dry acronym fails to convey the core idea. LOCUST is an attempt to transition the laser from the category of a laboratory miracle into a standard element of layered defense. It aims to be as much of a working tool as a radar, a gun, an electronic warfare station, or a launcher. It isn't meant to impress with a bright beam and a characteristic pew straight out of sci-fi, but to efficiently and inconspicuously perform the mundane yet critically important task of detecting an enemy drone, tracking it, holding energy on a vulnerable spot, and disabling the target. The roots of the system trace back to Blue Halo, a U.S. defense company specializing in directed energy, counter-drone systems, and space systems. In 2025, it was acquired by AeroVironment, so the Halo LOCUST is now part of the AeroVironment portfolio. The latter is also far from a random player in the market, having long earned recognition for its UAVs and loitering munitions, including the Switchblade family. It's ironic that two sides of the future of warfare, drones as a means of attack and lasers as a means of defense against them, have converged within a single corporate entity. But LOCUST is not just a laser on a tripod. In this combat system, the laser itself is only one component. To hit a flying drone, you must first receive target designation, detect a tiny target against the background of the sky, ground, thermal clutter, or clouds, classify it, maintain tracking, and direct the beam with such precision that the energy does not disperse across the hull, but focuses on a specific point. Therefore, what matters in LOCUST is not just the kilowatts, but the entire kill chain. Sensors, computers, algorithms, a stabilized beam director, thermal management, power supply, operator interface, and connection to command networks. The idea is as follows. The laser does not have to explode the drone instantly like in the movies. Instead, it heats up the material, destroys the optics, burns through the casing, and damages the engine, battery, wiring, wing, or control surfaces. This takes fractions of a second, but sometimes much longer depending on the distance to the target, weather conditions, laser power, and the target's material. Therefore, the main struggle is not even so much for kilowatts as it is for tracking stability. The system must hold energy even on the most agile targets as cold-bloodedly as a surgeon holds an instrument on a millimeter zone. And all this must happen while the target is flying, vibrating, capable of sharply changing course, and while dozens of other targets might be appearing around it. From this perspective, LOCUST seems closer to a robotic precision targeting complex than a gun. AeroVironment's descriptions emphasize plug-and-play interfaces for various sensors and RF bands, multi-purpose infrared search and track modes, high-speed HD video tracking, command network support, and an interface designed for a single operator. Even controlling it via an Xbox controller's not just a marketing gimmick, it's an acknowledgement that in real combat, even the most complex system must be intuitive for a person operating under the pressure of time, noise, anxiety, and information overload. The latest representative of the family is the LOCUST X3, the third generation of the modular directed energy laser system. AeroVironment documentation lists a power output ranging from 20 to more than 35 kilowatts, a modular beam director system, and AI-enabled detection, tracking, and engagement automation powered by the AV Halo Pinpoint software. It's specifically emphasized that the system is designed to counter Group 1 through Group 3 unmanned aircraft. Simply put, it eliminates small quadcopters and large tactical drones alike. The 20 to 35 kilowatt window was chosen so that it no longer is perceived as a toy laser dazzler, yet doesn't require the massive footprint of a giant installation designed to intercept cruise missiles at extreme ranges. The X3 belongs to the tactical class intended for the close-in defense of a base, convoy, ship, mobile outpost, warehouse, radar, or airfield infrastructure. Such a system can be mounted on a platform, connected to a power source, integrated with sensors, and used to destroy targets for which a missile is too expensive and a machine gun or cannon's not always accurate enough. This is also where the modularity of LOCUST stems from. While in the old mindset, a combat laser was a massive experimental complex, a standalone project, a separate platform, and dedicated infrastructure allocated specifically for it, LOCUST breaks this stereotype. It can be easily moved between platforms, serviced in the field, and updated as new sensors and algorithms emerge. The modular open systems approach architecture allows for faster laser upgrades without redesigning the entire complex, and this is by no means a minor convenience, but one of the key lessons of recent wars where threats evolved faster than the traditional defense procurement cycle. If your system cannot be updated quickly, it'll become obsolete in today's reality before it even becomes mass-produced. The first practical milestone came in September 2025 when AeroVironment announced the delivery of the first two AMPEL prototypes to the U.S. Army. This is a 20-kilowatt LOCUST Laser Weapon System integrated onto a General Motors Defense Infantry Squad vehicle platform. The systems underwent acceptance testing at the Yuma Proving Ground where mobility, safety, lethality, and operational readiness were evaluated. And already in December of the same year, the company mounted the same 20-kilowatt LOCUST, but this time with a larger beam director aperture, radar, and command and control systems onto two Oshkosh Joint Light tactical vehicles. For the Army, such assets will provide protection not only for stationary objects, but also for maneuver forces. If UAVs have become the artillery of the poor and real-time reconnaissance all at once, then a mobile laser system represents an attempt to restore freedom of movement to troops. A convoy, an artillery battery, or a forward command post cannot wait for help from a large air defense system every time. They require their own close-in protection, capable of operating quickly, repeatedly, and with minimal logistics. LOCUST is designed to eliminate the problem right where a drone appears suddenly, requiring a decision in seconds rather than minutes. In April 2026, LOCUST made its case in a whole new domain. AeroVironment reported that back in October 2025, it had installed a containerized system on the deck of the aircraft carrier USS George H.W. Bush for live fire trials and the U.S. Navy's first hands-on look at the actual capabilities of this laser. On paper, the sea demonstration looked like this. The team took a standard palletized LOCUST system built on the same core architecture as the land variants, brought it onto the aircraft carrier's deck, and powered it from the ship. The system received ruggedized electronics designed to handle the salty marine environment, fog, humidity, vibrations, and prolonged service at sea, environmental protection and sealing, as well as the stabilization necessary to operate on a rolling platform. A separate challenge was logistics, as the Navy wanted a containerized weapon that could be delivered to the deck with a standard forklift, tested, and then just as quickly removed so the aircraft carrier could return to its normal flight operations tempo. Safety was no less critical. The laser had to operate alongside people, aircraft, ship systems, and the flight deck without becoming a hazard to the carrier itself. Therefore, the purpose of the demonstration was also to prove that it can be integrated into the daily life of the ship with its marine environment, limited space, safety requirements, and the maximum mobility of the laser itself. By the way, how long do you think it took to train sailors who'd never fired a laser weapon before to use the system? 1 hour. According to AeroVironment, after about 1 hour of hands-on training with LOCUST, the sailors were navigating the interface, locking onto targets, and successfully neutralizing them. And this is exactly where the story of this laser stops being a tale about a beautiful engineering demonstration, because it's one thing to create a laser that works on a test range, and quite another to deliver a system to a ship, connect it to its power grid, weave it into the operations of a flight deck, and trust its execution to the crew rather than narrow-directed energy specialists. So at that moment, for the U.S. Navy, everything happening transformed from a scientific experiment into a preview of the future model of defense. LOCUST has become the U.S. response to a new strategic reality where a weak or mid-tier adversary can force a superpower into losing economic exchange. In Ukraine, FPV drones, reconnaissance UAVs, and loitering munitions have become everyday expendable wartime material. In the Red Sea, drone and missile attacks have shown that even maritime trade and the operations of large fleets can be pressured by the cheapest means. In the Middle East and the Persian Gulf, drones have long since become a tool for both states and their proxy forces. Meanwhile, in the Indo-Pacific region, the U.S. is looking at the problem even more broadly, asking, how do we protect bases, airfields, fuel depots, ships, and logistics hubs if the enemy bets on saturating the sky with cheap drones? The Pentagon has openly acknowledged the scale of the problem. In December 2024, the U.S. Department of Defense announced a strategy to counter unmanned systems, explicitly stating that unmanned systems are changing the nature of conflict and that drones currently represent the greatest threat to U.S. personnel, facilities, and assets abroad, and potentially within the United States. For the U.S., this is particularly painful due to the structure of its power. After all, the American military is global. Bases, carrier strike groups, warehouses, airfields, supply points, expeditionary contingents, all of this requires protection. But you cannot cover every single object with a costly, layered air defense system as if it were Washington, D.C. or an aircraft carrier in the midst of a major war. Mass drones strike precisely at this gap, forcing the defense to disperse, compelling them to spend expensive weapons on cheap targets, and creating a constant fear that a camera, a spotter, or a kamikaze is already loitering overhead. LOCUST proposes to change the ratio, not the strategy. If the laser is expensive to build, but each of its shots costs incomparably less than an interceptor missile, then saturating the airspace with drones becomes less profitable and even somewhat pointless. If the enemy knows that an American laser is already waiting for their army of drones somewhere out there, they can no longer count on every tiny target, forcing the U.S. to pull a scarce missile from the warehouse. They have to think about weather, range, trajectory, drone protection, simultaneity of attack, the electronic warfare environment, and the number of LOCUST systems at the facility. Yet, the ultimate enemy of LOCUST itself is physics. It requires a line of sight. Fog, rain, dust, smoke, sea salt, and turbulence can severely degrade the beam's transmission. The target must be tracked long enough, and if the drone is small, fast, maneuverable, and protected by heat-resistant materials, the task becomes exponentially harder. Furthermore, a single installation does not save against a mass attack where targets arrive simultaneously from different directions, because the laser will engage them sequentially rather than wiping out an entire group like a high-explosive fragmentation warhead. AeroVironment does not market LOCUST as a miracle and does not demand a belief in magic. It offers a pragmatic deal, a complex system dependent on weather and power that doesn't replace the entire air defense network, but provides precision engagement at the speed of light, cheap ammunition with no traditional magazine limits, the ability to work against the smallest targets, and integration into a digital defense network. The most important thing about LOCUST is not that it's a laser, but that it appeared just in time. The drone war has already changed the battlefield, and large armies are only now catching up with this reality. They desperately need to know, can a high-tech military survive in an era of low-budget threats? What do you think? Are we ready to transition from physical projectiles to energy weapons, or is this still just a bold outline of the future rather than an operational system? Be sure to tell us in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to always stay connected. See you soon.